Good morning. Today we'll take the second part of the lesson Glimpses of India, named Kurg by Lokesh Abrol. Glimpses of India, as we have seen, the view of the different parts of the country, the view of the different cultures of the country, and in this one we had seen the first part, which was about Goa, the bakers of Goa, where we had seen the effect of Portuguese culture on the people of Goa. This part is about Kurg. This Kurg or Kodagu, it is also called Kodagu. It is somewhere in between Mysore and Mangalore. And this place is so beautiful that people say that it is a piece of heaven that has drifted from the kingdom of God. It's a beautiful place. It is about 260 kilometers from Bangalore, and it is also called the Scotland of India. This is a hilly portion. There are rolling hills, right? That means it goes round and round, and it is a beautiful hilly hill stations inhabited by the people who are very warriors, and the women are very beautiful, and the wildlife is very rich. The flora and fauna of this particular place called Kurg is fantastic. The main feature of this land, that is Kurg, is the evergreen forest. Evergreen forest, as you all know, it is also called the powerhouse of evolution. It houses many animals and many trees. The place Kurg is famous for its spices and coffee plantations also, apart from the evergreen forest. As you can see, the evergreen forest, the coffee plantation, and the spices which are found in Kurg. The evergreen forests and the hills of Kurg, they provide water to river Kaveri. Now, river Kaveri is the main river which provides water to the state, and the water is such that it has so many wonderful fishes there, and the most important fish is the Mahasir. The Mahasir is a huge fish. It is the special variety of Mahasir is called the golden Mahasir. It's a wonderful fish, a very huge fish, and the big birds go for this fish. They dive to catch this fish. And this is also a place where the elephants enjoy the water. The langurs are there who reside by the trees, by the sides of the river. And the squirrel, it's a special squirrel which is found in the part. It is called the Malabar squirrels. You can see the beautiful color of this squirrel. It's different from the squirrels that we find in northern India. There are birds, bees, and butterflies. The macaws, these are the macaws, the huge monkey-like creature, macaws. And the langurs and the squirrels. And this is the slender loris, which is peculiar, found only in Kurg. And when the tourists come to Kurg, they especially want to see this slender loris. It's a wonderful, beautiful animal which we see in Kurg. As you know, there is water. There are water sports, right? Adventure sports activities are taken up by the people, especially by the tourists who visit Kurg. right? Rafting is this kind of boat. You earlier there were planks which were joined together, and then the people used to sit on it and they used to uh, sail in the water, right? But now it is the plastic raft that is available, and many of the people sit together and they uh, sail in the water. It is adventurous because the water, the current of the water is very strong. The other sport is canoeing. Canoe is a small boat made for only one person to sit there. And canoeing, there are several competitions that are held there. Rafting and canoeing competitions are held there in Coorg. This is rappelling. Rappelling is the waterfall. On the waterfall, what actually the people do, they tie the rope at the top of the waterfall, or from there they slide it down the mountain. That is rappelling. Okay, and you know what is rock climbing and mountain climbing. So the tourists who come to visit Coorg, they have many adventure sports for them, waiting for them to be explored. And the best time for the tourists to visit Coorg is September to March. There are many coffee estates and colonial bungalows also. Coffee estates where the coffee beans are harvested, and coffee is a cash crop. And colonial bungalows means the bungalows which were built by the Britishers who lived there, or the Arabs, or the people who came from other countries and they had settled there. They had formed the colonies there, and the bungalows that they had built, so they are called the colonial bungalows. Bungalows made by the people who had formed the colony in Coorg. It is said that the people of Coorg are possibly of Greek or Arabic descent. Right? They had descended from the Arabs or Greeks, because some of the people they say that a part of Alexander's army which moved south along the coast and settled there when they could not return back to their own country. And when they settled there, they married the locals, they settled there, they had children, and the culture was mingled. So the Indian culture along with the Greek culture, it had mingled so very well that we can see that the marriage or religious rites are totally different from what we have in the other parts of the countries. And the basic thing that they have is the martial traditions. You'll be surprised to know that the Coorgs, people of Coorg, they can keep a pistol rifle with them without the license. That means they are so dependable, they are so trustworthy that they are not going to use it for other purposes. They can keep it because this is their tradition. They don't have to apply for license, right? And that is why they can have the pistol or the firearms with them without the license. So they are a bit different from the other Indians in all the aspects, even in the dressing sense, right? They wear a kupiya. You see this, a man wearing a kupiya, a black coat with an embroidered waist belt worn by the people of Coorg, the Kodavus. It is very similar to the kufiya which is worn by the Arabs, right? You can see the other picture which is a kufiya which is worn by the Arabs, and that is why it is said that the people of the Coorg, the Kodavus, they are the descendants of either the Arabs or the Greeks, right? So they differ in each and every thing. Okay. the people of Coorg are known for their bravery, and in Indian Army, Coorg Regiment is the one which has received the maximum number of awards for bravery. You must be knowing the first chief of the Indian Army, General Cariappa, belonged to Coorg, right? And he was very proud to be a Coorg, and he was the first commander-in-chief of Indian Army. He had served even in the British Indian Army, and he was in the Western Front during the Indo-Pakistani War in 1947. So he is one of the most valorous person in the Indian Army, right? Although he was given the post of the first Indian chief of Indian Army, he was not accepted by the then Defense Minister Baldev Singh, but later he had to accept it because the other two people who were in line, they refused it. General Cariappa had succeeded Lieutenant General Sir Roy Bushar, who was the Commander-in-Chief of the Indian Army, who was himself a British soldier. He was the last British soldier, and General Cariappa was the first Indian to hold this position. And he had even served in the Second World War. And he is known to take revolutionary steps in Indian Army to keep it in a position where it could take its own decisions unaffected by the political parties. So we are so proud to have General Cariappa, who belonged to Coorg. You would see the Brahmagiri hills, right? They are beautiful hills which are the part of Coorg, and we can see the beautiful scenery, the panoramic view of Coorg from the hills, from the Brahmagiri hills. It is a wonderful, the highest place, and it is the most beautiful place from where you can have a complete view of Coorg. The other part of attraction is the Nisarg Dham. Okay, Nisarg Dham is an island. People call it island, but it is a delta. It is formed by the river Kaveri near Kushal Nagar. And this place is almost a holiday destination for anyone who goes there, right? It's about 95 kilometers from Mysore, but it is a wonderful place, a 64-acre island. Okay, it has thick bamboo groves and sandalwood and teak trees. It is accessible by the rope bridge. You can see this is a rope bridge. It is a hanging rope bridge, and when you reach the Nisarg Dham, the island, when you reach there are wonderful animals living there, the deer, the rabbits, the peacocks and the elephants, everything you can find there. There are many facilities for the visitors, for the tourists which are given there. They can get into the water at some places, shallow places, for the safety measure, by taking the safety measures, and there are elephant rides and boating which are available for the people, and there are tree houses also there. So if one goes to these places, he or she can enjoy the beauty of the nature in Nisarg Dham. The another part of attraction is Bailakupi, which is the India's largest Tibetan settlement in Coorg. You can see the monks, right? The Buddhist monk wandering here and there, and you can guess that there are people from Tibet residing here. So it is a place of mixed culture, right? And wonderful weather. The weather is such that when it pours, when it rains, it is difficult for the tourists to reach Kurg. They are not able to reach there because the path becomes unaccessible in the rainy season. But when you go there in the tourist season, that is a place you would find to be a place just drifting away from the heaven. So whenever you have time, you can go to Kurg from September to March, right? These are the word meanings. Okay, so what you will find from this story, from this uh, explanation of the place called Kurg, is that India is a multicultural place, right? India is a place where you will find people from different cultures accepting the other culture. If the people of Kurg are different from the people of India of other parts, it is because they have adopted the culture of the Greeks or the Arabs. And as they have accepted it, they are different from us. But not different because they are also Indians. They are also depicting the culture of the country. So it can be clearly said that India is a multicultural country respecting each and every culture. Right? Thank you.